What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ, Bucky, Rhett back with you as we've got a rookie draft coming up in a little bit. We've got a Monday night game to get to. But, Buck, I don't know if do you think it is just the Indiana performance why Rhett's been in such a good mood? Like, is it, I mean, Kana's not pregnant, is she? Like, what?
No,
okay.
Nope. Thanks for throwing that into the universe, but no.
Okay.
No.
I mean, why not?
No, just basking in the glow of 8-0 and probably another rookie draft win. So
I know we're gonna get to that. Somehow Rhett has found his way. Is this the first time you've been in first place since we've been doing the rookie draft?
I mean, after winning last year, yeah. I think this is
you did not win last year. Stop.
Win last
year?
Didn't. Like, what are we talking about?
We've already gone over this. We've already covered this ground.
Oh, sorry.
Come on. All right. It's time for the lead block presented by T-Mobile for Business. Football needs a network willing to go the extra yard. So do you. Go further with T-Mobile for Business. So leading off here, Giants, Steelers. Buck, I'll get to you first because, I mean, I don't think anybody can question Mike Tomlin when it comes to the quarterback decision. I think they put that to bed.
How about knowing your team and knowing exactly what your team needs to get to the next level? He rolls the dice despite Justin Fields playing pretty well. He rolls the dice, puts Russell Wilson in, lives through an uneven first half performance against the Jets. And in the last, 3 halves, he has been outstanding. I mean, he has been terrific. It has expanded and opened up the playbook. We've seen George Pickens, Calvin Austin make big plays. It opens up the running game. Russell Wilson has given them exactly what they were hoping to get when they put him in there, that veteran savvy and leadership. And by the way, maybe Russell still can play a little bit when we poured a little dirt on him when he was in Denver.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I mean, it feels a lot like last week for Pittsburgh, where, we also saw, perhaps Russell's ability in the pass game unlock what the Steelers really want to do, and that's run the football with Najee Harris, average about 5.5 yards a pop on 114 yards and 19 carries. Jaylen Warren involved in that aspect of it too. And they're getting healthier along the offensive line, which probably helps a little bit too. So yeah, I mean, from the Steelers side of things, and we can, if you guys want to get to the Giants thing, I got something that I think we should probably talk about on that front too. But yeah, for the Steelers, I mean, this continues to make sense.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on the Giants here in just a second. My take on Russ, going back watching that on tape this morning, I felt like I saw all three versions of Russ in that game. I saw the early career Russ, which was deep play action, getting way away from the center, movement on boots, just get him out of the pocket and let him, survey the field and deliver the ball. So that was like the early Russ. Then you remember when Russ, like, okay, now we're going to, let Russ cook and we're going to put him in the gun and chuck it. And he had some big years doing that. There was elements of that where he's in there kind of just pick and stick from the shotgun, that version. And then I saw still like there's a handful of plays where you kind of saw old Russ, like maybe Denver
Russ?
Bronco Russ, where just like he threw a couple worm burners, held the ball a little bit, like, so you kind of got to see all the different iterations, I should say, of Russell Wilson. But I do think that, the best way to do it is what they're doing with the original Russ, which is the deep play action, the boots, getting to dump the ball off to those huge tight ends. That works. That fits. That feels like Steeler football to me when I watched that, Buck.
So what this feels like is them channeling Russell's early days in Seattle and hoping that he can tap into that experience to help a fairly young offense learn how to win. When Russell was playing with that version with Marshawn Lynch and those things, it was game manager Russ. It was play action pass Russ. It was making an occasional play with his feet to make it happen. And even though he doesn't have the athleticism, I think he's very comfortable doing that. I also think he's at a point where, from a humility standpoint, he understands that this is the best way for him to play if he wants to extend and cement his legacy. I've always believed that this was a legacy play for Russ. If he succeeds in Pittsburgh, if he leads them to a Super Bowl, the gold jacket that we were beginning to take off of him, the gold jacket goes right back on. And so to me, I think he's more willing to buy in than he had been in other situations.
Yeah, I would say that probably makes sense too. And, I thought this game kind of mimicked, a little bit of, as you were going back through the phases of what we saw last week, in that, last week, your first half, you're like, ooh, was this the right call? But it does feel like you're week over week. You're working a little bit less of Denver Russ, a little bit more of early Seattle Russ. And so that I'm really curious to see how this thing kind of continues to take shape now as we get into, 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road with Pittsburgh. One thing I would say on the defensive side of the ball is, it was kind of interesting to see a banged up, Giants offensive line who definitely had their problems pass protecting again, especially on the left side with Chris Hubbard in there. Yikes. That was bad. But that Steelers defense gave up, some serious yardage in a run game to Tyrone Tracy, which is something that I wasn't necessarily expecting going into this thing.
Yeah, I want to get to the Giants side of things here. Tyrone Tracy went and watched those runs. It is interesting. Just the threat of Daniel Jones, and we'll have the Daniel Jones conversation here in a second, but just the threat of him as a runner does help the backs. He holds almost all those runs were on zone reads, and you have to account for Daniel Jones on the backside. So you get cutback runs and you have no cutback support because they got to camp out in case Daniel Jones has the football. So that's one of the impacts that he has. You touched on the offensive line issues. You look, Malik Neighbors did some good things. Tyrone Tracy, you get the 2 rookies out there making plays. Those are positive signs. But it does feel like, like they're not winning games. Daniel Jones, production-wise, has not been there. And I'm going to spin it forward to the positive side of things. And I want to see where you guys are at on this, because if in talking to teams around the league, the consensus is this next class, this rookie quarterback class, is just okay. And I'm getting a chance to just get started on that. We'll have more on that as we get close to the spring. But the popular opinion is, hey, we're trying to find the next Baker, Sam Darnold. Like we want to the Geno Smith. We want to get somebody that we can
the resurrection,
the resurrection candidate. Yeah. And I'm sitting here going, is that the sneaky one? I know the Daniel money Jones is the money, but like if Daniel Jones gets out of New York and goes somewhere, maybe a little less pressure, maybe a little more support, maybe the 3 Ps are there to help him, Buck. Like, is he got a chance to be a reclamation project?
I think it's a great guy to target. And I think you catch him at the right time. Get him out of New York. Get him on what would be a team-friendly deal. Have your quarterback gurus pay attention to what he does well, because he's athletic enough. He's smart enough. He's tough enough. He's shown the toughness. Now it's about putting him in a situation where he can have success. I can't say fully that he's been given everything that he needs to be successful in New York. Like, they've never really had a top-notch wide receiver. Yeah, they get Malik Neighbors now, but then the rest of the team is not what it needs to be. Put him in a situation on I would say a good team, a team that needs him. Imagine Daniel Jones playing for the Raiders, like if they got a wide receiver or whatever, like a team that needs someone that can be a stabilizing force at the quarterback position. He has value. So for all the people that are poo-pooing on Daniel Jones, he is going to be one of those guys that plays much better in his next destination than he did in his previous destination.
That's actually an interesting one, but I don't know that there's a Minnesota Vikings laying around, for Daniel Jones to walk into with a really good situation, a really good football team that way. The Raiders, is one to kind of think about on that front. But obviously, he's not going to want to end up in Carolina. Like you don't want to go through that kind of stuff again, where you're the guy that's trying to hold this thing up and you got nothing else. No beams, no pillars, no load bearing situation there beneath you. So yeah, I think that's something to watch. But for this version of the Giants, like they have to play perfect games in order to win. Like they're so deficient in so many areas. Like you can't have 11 penalties and you can't give up a special teams touchdown. You're going to lose. Like, it's just like they have to play so clean to win football games. Their margin for error is so much smaller in so many of these games that you can't have those mistakes. Now, you could say that there might have been roughing the punter on that punt return score. I would probably agree with you on that. But still, I don't know that the punter was going to go stop the guy from returning the thing for a touchdown. Like you got to go out there and do that. So I think there's some things to think about on that front if the Giants want to try to make something out of this season, which increasingly feels like another lost one there.
Well, I don't know if Joe Flacco wants to play till he's 50 or not, but
he's another one.
The Anthony Richardson thing, is not going great. And if I was Daniel Jones, if I was his agent, that would be the one that I'd be targeting. Somehow,
that's a good one.
Indianapolis. Somehow,
DJ, that's a good one. That's a good one. Not only because of what they have said, but Shane Steichen has shown that he can work with an athletic quarterback and have a lot of success. Just look at the work that he did with Jalen Hurts, and we could say that
he's more refined than Anthony Richardson as a passer. So I mean, obviously Anthony Richardson's an athlete, but the passing stuff is way behind.
The passing stuff, and so that is a good location. So you're right. If I'm Daniel Jones, I'm not bent out of shape over the rumors and the conjecture about them needing a quarterback. I have my representatives trying to target what's the next place for me to be able to have an opportunity to go. New Orleans will be interesting to watch as we continue to go down the line. The team isn't great.
I don't have enough there, man.
Yeah.
They don't have enough there. I'm with you on that. It's to me, it's that one's kind of similar to the Raiders. Like they need more. They just need more, to help a quarterback that's not at the upper tier.
But the thing is, when you sign, like if you go out and Daniel Jones is on the market, you don't give up a pick for him. You sign him. You're the Raiders. The Raiders have a top 10 pick. Now all of a sudden you go out and you get a steady receiver in free agency. You use a top 10-ish pick on, and maybe it's, a receiver, maybe just something to pair up with Brock Bowers. Yeah. I mean, we've seen things, the picture can change pretty quick.
That's right. That's
offensive. Right. So, he's going to be an interesting one. I think that's going to be a good topic for us as we go into the spring, though, is
no doubt.
Who are those candidates? Who are those veteran guys that teams are going to be looking at? So
somebody could give Joe a shot, like, tail end of his career,
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of fits that bill right now.
Yeah, no question. So. It'll be interesting to see. And maybe Jameis just settles in with Cleveland. Who knows? That's going to be an interesting one to follow. I'll be out there this week, so I'll give you a little update.
All right, give us an update.
Team against the Chargers. That's a wrap for the lead block presented by T-Mobile for Business. Football needs a network willing to go the extra yard, and so do you. Go further with T-Mobile for Business. All right, we'll take a quick break. We come back. We'll catch up on the results from last week's rookie draft. Spoiler alert, not great for me. And we'll have a new one for this coming week right after this. All right, Rhett, you're cooking, man. You're cooking with gas. 8 points for you last week. I got 3. Bucky got 1. But
domination.
One point.
I know, but Buck, you're still handling me. Rhett gets into the lead. He's got 34. 34 points. Bucky is 1 behind him at 33. I'm bringing up the rear at 29. So I've got some work to do here. By the way, Nabil, I mean, you got me second place points there without me being here last week. I give you credit for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Honestly, I can't even say anything negative because I probably would have done worse. Buck?
I thought I had Bo Nix. I thought Bo Nix had a good game for me. Didn't I have Bo Nix?
I had Bo Nix, I think, right?
Rhett had Bo Nix. Rhett had Bo Nix. Bucky, you had Caleb, Pearsall, and Adunze.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. That's a bad day. That's a bad day at all.
It was a rough day for you.
It was, for sure.
Well, hopefully Drake May's playing this week. Let's see what goes on there coming off the concussion. Rhett, it goes Rhett, myself, Bucky.
Yeah.
So we have buys to keep an eye on. We have Steelers, Niners. So no Garendo for you, Rhett.
Fair enough. Okay.
Go get him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna take.
It's a tough one. This is a tough one. Hopefully the ribs are feeling a little bit better for our friend Jaden Daniels. Now here's the.
You're gonna take him?
Though. I'm thinking about it, but Bo Nix is playing a Ravens team that just got torched by Jameis Winston.
Not good.
I don't think that Sean Payton is going to opt for that type of down the field attack with Bo, the way that Kevin Stefanski did with Jameis. And I feel like Baltimore is going to try to figure something out this week on defense. So I am going to go with Jaden Daniels against this Giants defense that has struggled.
Okay. I respect that. I'm gonna go to a guy who's gonna be playing in that game. I'm gonna go to the other side, and let's just stay with Neighbors. Let's just keep riding that one. So I'm gonna go Malik Neighbors, Buck.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's a lot of fun. I'm gonna go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Coming off a nice game,
showing up at the party. He's back showing up at the party, and then I
Him
guess
and Tyreek Stevenson going at it this week.
Tyreek Stevenson certainly it got a nice slice of humble pie. I'm sure he will be on his best behavior if he's on the field at all, given the circumstances. And then I guess I'm gonna have to follow it up. I'm gonna take Caleb coming back.
Caleb, all right.
Oh, okay.
Same game.
That frees me up. I'm gonna go. Give me Brock Bowers and his 50 targets that come to him every week.
Dang, wanted that one.
Gotta have a big week, guys. Gotta have a big week this week. Gotta get back in this. Go ahead, Rhett. Double up.
Okay. Double up here. Let's take a look at where we're at. Give me Ladd McConkey. McConkey. He's really coming on. Love the game he had last week. That was a big one.
If Bucky would have went Bowers, I was going with Ladd.
Yeah. So I'm going Ladd. And then, BTJ, do you got an injury update for us?
I think that he could be down. Bucky's not allowed to say anything there, but he could be down.
Take him, Rhett. He's good to go.
Okay.
He's good to go. Take him.
Got it.
Big game coming.
Then let me go back to the well. Oh shoot. Hold on. You got the Bucks going. I got the Bucks going up against the Chiefs.
Yeah, come on.
Bucky Irving, right. You want to get a little Bucky Irving action? Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that.
You don't know Tyrone Tracy, huh? You know, leave that one alone off a $1.45.
$1.45. Purdue guy.
That's a tough one for me, guys.
Yeah,
that's a hard one for me. All right. Yeah. You know what? Let's go back. Wait, hold on. Tyrone Tracy went out. Didn't he go out of that game?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. One of us, Buck. One of the three of us on this show as a dad.
He's in concussion protocol.
Half of his concussion protocol as a trainer.
Yeah.
Give me Bucky Irving.
Give me Bucky Irving. Let's go. Bucky.
Now I forgot.
Let's go.
Now I forgot who DJ. Who'd you take? You took Brock Bowers and who?
I'm up next. So I'm taking Bo Nix. I got Bo Nix. So
he's got Neighbors.
You got the last pick.
I've got McConkey and Irving.
Gosh, I feel like I need.
You go Keon
Coleman, baby.
Are we really going to use him though? If we're Buffalo,
yeah, you can use him last week.
Are we really going to use him?
You got a hundo.
Yeah, but was it garbage minutes? Like garbage minutes?
I've got a thought on that in a minute here.
Go Jalen Wright.
Okay. No. Okay. Let's just take Bills Mafia because I'm getting pummeled in my mentions on Twitter because of the Buffalo Bills thing. So let's take Keon Coleman. Let's see if he can do something. Anything.
I'm looking this up now because let's see, draft class 2024. Yeah. I saw somebody tweeted this out. Forgive me for not remembering who it was, but said, okay, let's go. We got him right here. Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy. So Keon Coleman, 22 catches, 418 yards, 3 touchdowns. Worthy, 20 catches, 243, 3 touchdowns. So you've got the production heavily in favor of Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's got 11 explosives. Xavier Worthy has 5. So did the Bills get an apology from all the people on social media that freaked out when they traded the pick that ended up being Xavier Worthy when they got a guy in Keon Coleman who actually is you can make a strong argument it's a better fit for the city of Buffalo, the weather, the stadium, the quarterback, all those things, Buck?
Yeah, they should get an apology. Look, Brandon Beane and those guys, and I'm going to say this. I thought the Buffalo Bills were going to take a step back this year. Look, man, I'm looking at them, and when they win, they are obliterating teams. Like, they are whipping people handily. And, look, the addition of Amari Cooper gave them a number 1, but I don't know if they're going to need him to be a number 1 as they continue to get down the end of the season. I think he was a nice kind of like bridge to when Keon Coleman and some of the other guys can develop and take over because Khalil Shakur and some of their other guys are doing it. Yeah, so they don't need to apologize. I think they need apologies issued to them for what they decided to do with Xavier Worthy because I don't think he was going to be a great fit up there in that way.
Yeah, what did he end up? Xavier ended up with a touchdown this last week, right? 5 catches, 45 yards. Got into the end zone.
I think
I'm not saying he's been a whiff or a bust, but I'm saying the guy that you picked has almost 200 yards more receiving than him at this point in time, with a couple more catches and more explosive plays.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So,
but I wonder what is Amari Cooper? He had Keon had a pretty good day even with Amari Cooper in there, right?
He's played well. He's starting to fit in a little bit there. So anyways, I just a cautionary tale. Let's not eviscerate people. What might be right for another team might not necessarily be right for your team. So that's continuity though too. That's what we've always preached here too, is the advantage when you have offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, systems in place, head coaches that don't go anywhere. Buck, you know exactly what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, fit is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to have the carryover over years where you know exactly what you get, you know exactly what works for us, what pieces you need to surround the rest of the team with. Yes, continuity is everything. Consistency is everything.
All right, as we kiss Rhett off here, Rhett, who do we have this week? Who the Hoosiers got?
Michigan State, battle for the old brass spittoon. Good old trophy game here, folks.
What's the Purdue game? What's that for?
That's the old Oaken Bucket.
The Oaken Bucket. How many games do you have with something on the line?
We used to have 3 when we played Kentucky every year. Was the border barrel. Well, it was technically the bourbon barrel, but it got declassified down to border barrel. So now it's just the old brass spittoon and the bucket. Yeah.
I feel why are we always playing for so many gimmicks and stuff at Indiana? Is that because like our football has been great? Like I feel like everything is
college football,
like,
brother.
It's like we're always playing for this is a
what did you guys have for, like,
you don't have a
rival for NC State? Did we have anything? Did you guys get anything for those games?
Well,
like a bell or something?
We had the victory bell for NC State. That's the only one. But you can't. Every game can't be a game of significance and memorabilia on the line. Like it should be special. It shouldn't be every week we're playing for something.
I mean, tell that to Paul Bunyan's axe. Okay, tell that to Floyd of Rosedale.
We're playing for something every week at Indiana.
You have never felt pressure like playing Western Carolina for the old Mountain Jug. I'll just tell you that right now.
Yes.
When's
that game coming up?
Like a bootlegger
year?
Jug there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they didn't make the jump up with us to Division I. So that old Mountain Jug, I'm sure, is in the football office still, just sitting in there
somewhere.
All right.
Good stuff.
That'll do it for us today. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. Bucky and myself will be back tomorrow with one more episode this week. We'll see you then.